You're listening to the Curate Your Life Podcast with Temetria, episode 102, How About Them Apples? Hi, I'm Temetria, a single woman in midlife, but not quite ready for the moo-moo life. I'm focused on curating a life that I love, a life that is bold and vibrant and full of purpose. And I'm passionate about helping other women do the same. So join me if you're ready to curate a big, bold, beautiful life that you love. Hi, y'all. So first, I know I have been away for a minute, so thank you for still being here. I'm back. I don't really have a very good excuse for why I have not been here. I just haven't. I've been on Facebook. I've done some lives over there. I think I talked about, doing the lives over there and then using the recordings for the podcast, but I have not done that. And again, I don't really have a good excuse for why I wasn't here. I just wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing this thing. I was doing other things, but I just put this on a back burner and kind of ignored it. And for that, I apologize for just kind of ghosting you. But I thank you for still being here and just know that I'm back. So today's episode is all about the possibilities you may not even know exist for your life. And this episode came about and it is inspired by something that I recently discovered about apples. Yes, apples. And how they made me think about the untapped potential in all of our lives. So I was recently at a doctor's appointment and I was waiting for my doctor to come in for my visit. And they had two magazines in the room, a food and wine magazine and one that was some sports magazine. I can't even remember what it was. But I grabbed the food and wine magazine, just killing time. And I came across this article about the different varieties of apples and how you could use them in different recipes for the holidays. This was a November 2023 edition of Food and Wine magazine, and they were sharing recipes for the holidays. And these were, again, centered around apples. They had this 2-page spread of all these apples, and I was looking at them and looking at the names. And I recognized a few of the varieties, Granny Smith, Golden, and McIntosh. And I think there was one more, but that was it. But there were so many others that I'd never even heard of before. Just all kinds of apples that I'd never even heard of. They were not in the recesses of my mind. Like, oh yeah, I remember that. Had never heard of them. So naturally, I went to the Google because I was wondering how many varieties of apples are out there. And I don't know if you know this, I had no idea, but I'm going to give you a minute to formulate your guess. How many varieties of apples do you think are out in the world? This is worldwide. Over 7,500 varieties of apples. I had no idea. And in the US alone, about 2,500 varieties. It blew my mind. I was like, oh my goodness. I knew that there were probably more than the apples that I knew about, that I think about when I think about apples, especially when I think about my grocery store, H-E-B. I think we have a fabulous grocery store. And they have a good selection of apples, right? A good variety of different types of apples. And I by no means thought that they had every apple out there, but I thought it was a good sampling. But when you think about it, they probably have a dozen or so. So not even close to what's even available here or what's grown here in the United States. So I thought H-E-B was impressive, and it is. I do love my H-E-B. But here's the thing. That really reminded me of that saying, you don't know what you don't know. And it hit me that this fact about apples is such a great metaphor for life. How often do we get stuck thinking our lives only have a handful of options, just like those apples at the grocery store? We assume that we see all that there is, that we have an idea of what's available for our lives. But in reality, there's a whole orchard of possibilities that we haven't even considered for our lives. So when was the last time that you let your imagination run wild, and not about what could go wrong and all the negative things in life, but about what could go right, about the endless possibilities of all the good things that can happen to you in your life? When was the last time you went down that rabbit hole? I talk to a lot of women in midlife, and I have noticed that we're often stuck in this loop of doubt and overwhelm and frustration. And it's no wonder that we forget to dream and just let our minds and our hearts go and think about what's possible. So some of the things that I hear when I talk to women are things like, shouldn't I have this all figured out by now? I don't know what else there is out there, but there has to be more than this. There's so much that I want to do, but I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to begin. Why does it feel like I'm just going and going and going and working so hard and getting nowhere? Or I feel stuck. I don't know. Like this overarching, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want. I don't know what's next. Does any of that sound familiar? I've heard it talking to women in coaching and just talking to friends and family. And I sometimes feel that. I sometimes get overwhelmed and stuck and not know what to do next. And honestly, that's probably what happened with me in this podcast. I kind of felt like, I don't know what's next. So what did I do? I just kind of ghosted it and let it sit. And I would think about this every now and then, but I wasn't thinking about the possibilities of what I could be sharing with you, what we could be talking about, the possibility of what you wanted to hear. I was just thinking about I have to, I should, oh, I haven't done this. What are they thinking? All the negative things. I'm telling you, it's so human. This is such a normal thing. That's the rabbit hole I was in. I wasn't thinking about the possibilities. But here's the good news. Those possibilities are there. They're out there. They're everywhere. They're out there for every aspect of our lives. And just like there are more apples than we realize, there are more possibilities than we can even imagine. So the first step for all of us, me included, is to stop focusing on the shoulds, the what might go wrong, and instead start dreaming about what could go right, what is possible out there. What if you gave yourself permission to explore what truly excites you? And here's the crazy thing. When I coach somebody, this is what I do. I have them look at what exactly they want their life to look like. And just thinking about it in relation to this podcast, because now that I'm talking about it, it's all come into light for me. All the light bulbs are going off. I should have sat down and thought about, okay, what exactly do I want this podcast to look like? And then start it from there instead of just not thinking about it, right? So what, again, do you truly want? What truly excites you? What if you imagined your ideal day? And we do this for vacations. We plan vacations. But I always like to say on any given Tuesday, what would your ideal life look like? What do you love? What would light you up and spark joy in your soul? What if you approach life with the mindset of the best is yet to come? Those questions, those thoughts, if you give yourself that space, can spark something powerful. So I want to invite you to dream big with me, to consider the positive possibilities, the good things that are out there for all of us. Midlife isn't a time to settle. It's a time to reimagine, redefine, rediscover who you are and who you want to be. So if you're feeling stuck or uncertain about what's next, I'd love to explore the possibilities with you. So I want to invite you to schedule a free midlife wake-up call. That's the perfect place to start. Together, we will explore what's possible and uncover what you really want for your life and how to get there. It's a one-on-one call where we'll talk about all of it, all the possibilities, what you want, how to get there. And we will talk about the obstacles and the things that stand in your way, because you have to be able to get past those to get to a life that is amazing and that lights you up. You deserve to feel excited about your future. And sometimes it takes that little nudge to start thinking differently. So go to the show notes, and there is a link there where you can schedule your midlife wake-up call. And in the meantime, the next time I'm at HEB, I'm going to try a type of apple that I've never had before. I don't know what that is, but I will let you know. Until next time.